Have you ever wondered how a machine can learn and improve its own performance without being explicitly programmed to do so? Welcome to the fascinating realm of machine learning, or ML for short. This ingenious technology is subtly woven into the fabric of our everyday lives, influencing our decisions, routines, and experiences in ways we often overlook. From personalized movie recommendations to voice-enabled virtual assistants, machine learning is silently revolutionizing our world. So, let's unfold the mystery of machine learning. The concept of machine learning didn't just appear overnight, it has a rich history. To fully appreciate it, let's travel back in time to the 1950s. The seeds of machine learning were sown with the development of the first program that could learn from its mistakes. This was a revolutionary breakthrough in the field of computer science. Fast forward to 1957, and we see the birth of the first perceptron, an early form of artificial neural network. This was a critical milestone that laid the groundwork for future advancements in machine learning. However, the journey was not without its hurdles. The 1970s marked the onset of the AI winter, a period of reduced interest and funding in AI research. Despite the challenges, the pioneers of machine learning persevered, paving the way for the innovations we see today. The journey had just begun, and the golden era was yet to come. As the new millennium dawned, so did the golden era of machine learning. Take a moment to imagine a world where machines can learn, grow, and adapt, much like a human mind. That's exactly the reality we began to perceive in the early 2000s. This period saw the birth of deep learning, a subset of machine learning that allows computers to mimic the human brain's neural networks. It was a game changer, opening doors to possibilities that were once the stuff of science fiction. Deep learning brought about significant advancements in voice recognition, image classification, and natural language processing. Suddenly, our devices could understand and respond to our voices, identify objects in photos, and even interpret and generate human language. But none of this would have been possible without another crucial component: big data. With the explosion of data in the digital age, machine learning had a vast playground to learn from. Every tweet, every online purchase, every digital footprint became a piece of the puzzle, helping machines understand patterns and make predictions. This was the fuel that powered the golden era of machine learning. Today we see machine learning applications everywhere, often without even realizing it. When your email filters out spam, that's machine learning. When your music app suggests a song you might like, that's machine learning too. Even medical diagnoses and stock market predictions are becoming increasingly reliant on these smart algorithms. But it's not just about convenience or automation. Machine learning has the potential to solve some of our biggest challenges. It's helping scientists understand climate change, aiding in the development of new medicines, and even helping us explore the vast expanses of space. The golden era of machine learning is not just about technology, it's about the convergence of human curiosity, ingenuity, and ambition with the power of machines. It's about using our creations to better understand ourselves and the world around us. The advancements in machine learning have been revolutionary, but what does the future hold? As we stand on the threshold of a new era, what can we expect from machine learning in the future? Machine learning, the hidden maestro of our digital symphony, is poised to play even more extraordinary tunes. As we delve into the future, we see a world where machine learning drives the melody of progress, creating a harmony between humans and technology. Imagine a world where your car doesn't just take you from point A to point B, but anticipates your needs, adjusts to your comfort, and makes the journey as safe as possible. Autonomous vehicles powered by machine learning are not far from becoming our everyday reality. Now picture a healthcare system that doesn't just treat illnesses, but predicts them before they occur. Machine learning, with its ability to analyze vast amounts of data, could personalize your healthcare, tailoring treatments to your genetic makeup and lifestyle. And let's not forget the potential for even more sophisticated AI systems. Machine learning could breathe life into AI, creating intelligent systems that don't merely mimic human thought but understand and evolve with it. But the future of machine learning isn't just about the technology, it's about us, how we adapt, how we innovate, and how we maximize its potential to improve our lives. With machine learning, the possibilities are limitless. So, what have we learned about machine learning? In essence, machine learning is a branch of artificial intelligence that empowers computers to learn from data, improve from experience, and make predictions or decisions without being explicitly programmed. It's a transformative technology that's revolutionizing the world around us. Stepping back in time, we've seen that machine learning has deep roots. With its conceptual birth dating back to the mid-20th century, it was born out of an aspiration to create intelligent machines, an ambition that has seen many twists and turns, challenges and triumphs. The journey has been long, but the progress has been phenomenal. Fast forwarding to the present day, machine learning has entered a golden era. It's no longer a distant dream, but a tangible reality that's deeply embedded in our everyday lives. Whether it's recommending your next favorite song, predicting the weather, diagnosing diseases, or powering self-driving cars, machine learning algorithms are working behind the scenes, making our lives easier, safer, and more efficient. But we're not stopping here. The future of machine learning is brimming with possibilities. As we continue to advance our technology and deepen our understanding, we're pushing the boundaries of what's possible. We're exploring new frontiers, from improving climate models to creating more personalized learning experiences, to even helping us understand the mysteries of the universe itself. But remember, machine learning is not a magic bullet, it's a tool, a powerful one. But it's only as good as the data it learns from, and the people who wield it. It's up to us to use it responsibly, ethically, and for the betterment of all. Machine learning has come a long way, and its journey is far from over. It's a fascinating field that continues to evolve and shape our world. So, stay curious and keep learning.